Hello, everybody, and welcome to Music Industry Insights Worldwide. Today, we have the awesome Fiona Damwell with us from East London School of Music. Hi, Fiona, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. Thanks for having me on here.
Well, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for coming along today. I know it's been a bit of a tricky one, but I really appreciate your time and your expertise to come and talk about the amazing work that you're doing. So, do you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, and what you do?
Yes, my name is Fiona Paquette. I reside in East London, in yeah, East London, and I am the music director of the East London School of Music, which is a music charity, and we were set up to provide classical music training for disadvantaged families.
Awesome. I'm from a disadvantaged family myself, so I went to children's home and foster care. So I really appreciate the amazing work you do. So how did you get into that, and what kind of spurred you to start the school?
Well, basically, it started off as a church project
Okay.
back in 2015,
Yeah.
April 2015. And what it was, they were looking to, so under the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we have different areas. So one in East, North, South, and West. So we're based in East London. So the East London Church Committee wanted to look at doing having a centre of influence in East London. One to do with health, one to do with other different areas, but music was one of them. And so the chairman of the committee, they were looking to because they were thinking about how about we have some kind of music school.
Mhm.
So my name came up on the committee purely because the chairman has seen the work he used to be one of our ministers,
Yeah.
and he's attended all the concerts that we've done at my church every December. So he said, I would like Leona to run this school. We're going to have a music school.
Mhm.
So fast forward, lots of discussions. I was approached by him, and I was like, because I've never run a music school before, it was quite daunting. That I was being asked. I mean, it was good to be asked as well. So I thought about it, and I said, you know what, I'll give it a go.
Well
You
done.
know, and
Mhm.
that was like 1.5 years ago. So we had an open day on April the 5th, 2015, and that's our birth date. We invited the community, and we had 10 students
Okay. Yeah.
and four teachers. Well, I was one of them. And and then following on from there, it steadily grew and grew and grew. And it expanded even more during the pandemic because children and families were kind of flocking to the school. They wanted their children to be enrolled, involved, especially during that period where it was quite difficult, for the families. And now we've got over 140 students
Wow.
and
Great work.
14 teaching staff so
Yeah.
far, and three sites.
And there's been a lot of cuts to the school budgets for music. And I think, that's how I got into music myself. I was from a disadvantaged family. Both my parents were deaf. And I went to a school and they noticed I could sing. So I won this voice trials to go to an amazing school. It was a private school that did music. And I think that kind of solidified my love for music because, coming from a disadvantaged family, families can't always afford instruments or lessons, or even being in those creative parts of the industry because some people say that doesn't even pay the bills or you can't get money to pay those bills. So how have you found that and what kind of families do you kind of reach to and support along your way that you or the work you're doing?
Mainly the Black and ethnic minorities,
Okay.
because you don't often see um, them doing that style of music, classical music, because we primarily, because we are a classical music training school. And um, I mean, the role models that we kind of look up to is like the Kinney Mason family.
Yeah.
A lot of them are fans of, and also the Chineke Orchestra.
Awesome.
So, because what we do is we encourage our students to say, look, these guys who are performing, you can do that,
Mhm. Yeah.
and they want to do it, but it's just the affordability, and that's kind of like, the thing about classical music training is like, oh, really expensive. I know we can't afford it, and that's where we come in,
Yeah.
and we want to try and make it more accessible.
Yeah,
to
100%.
these families.
I remember I
Yeah,
used to play the flute and the piano, and when I went to buy a flute, I think they were like 500 or 600 pounds at the time. That was back then. So do you
yeah.
provide instruments and lessons and kind of note reading and all that other stuff as well? So how does the school work, and what do you teach at the schools?
Okay, so we have various different instrumental programs. So things like strings, brass, voice training, um, woodwind, organ. We have a pipe organ as well.
Yeah, nice.
Um, and music theory is compulsory. So when someone enrolls onto the school, they automatically are enrolled onto the music theory program because it is very important, being able to read.
Of course.
Um, and we're also a registered exam site under Trinity College.
Well
So
done.
we have exams at our sites. That is for both practical and music theory exams. And yeah, and we're a very, very proactive school. We're always doing community events. Like we had one, December's pretty busy. I know it's pretty busy for a lot of musicians, but particularly for us because we want to keep the children and young people and even the seniors. We have senior group as well. My oldest student is in their mid 80s.
Oh, wow. That's
So it's never too late, is what we try and encourage. Yeah, because we started the seniors project in September,
okay.
and that's going to be ongoing till for another year, and it's free, So we're always doing something, recitals. We even do conducting classes as well. I've
That's
got two teenage conductors who are 50, both 15. I think one of them's 16 now,
yeah,
and yeah, they're black male teenagers.
great.
And
That's
you
so,
think about black male, that category, that there are a lot of them who are students at our school and they enjoy the courses.
and is there a prerequisite for them to come along, or can anyone just come along and say, like, I want to be part of this?
Anybody, we cater for all different learning curves. So we have a lot of beginners
Yeah,
and novices, and yeah, I think at this point we've probably got about 30% who are beginners and stuff, and then we take them through the courses from beginner level to advanced.
it's really good work. Well done for
Yeah.
you. I love that. It sounds awesome. It's diversifying all of the orchestras because there's a massive shortage of black players in any orchestra. I do know of
Yeah.
that. I've seen the stats and they are awful. So I'm sure the you're doing is going to help change that and change the landscape of classical music, which is fantastic. I really don't know what to say because that's awesome. But how do you get your funding and how does that work and how do you stay afloat?
Yeah. That's one of the challenges that we're facing at the moment is funding.
Yeah.
When we initially started, we were receiving like a small grant from the church, and that was like because there are two main departments who would support us, and we would get like 2.5 for each, 2.5K. But that's when we were small. But
Yeah,
now we've kind of expanded. We've kind of even outgrown our site to the point where we don't have enough space for some of the teachers who are on site. So some of them teach online. So the main challenges is being financially sustainable. That's our main issue at the moment because our main income is mainly from the tuition fees, and we keep them as low as possible so it's affordable for those who can pay.
yeah,
Because there are those who can pay, but there's a percentage of those who can't. And so we registered as a charity in 2021
done. Yeah,
so that, and we've also recently I created a LinkedIn profile so that we can connect with organizations and they can connect with us. So yeah, we donations, we kind of rely on those, but we want to get to the stage where if we can connect with people who can help us and work on sort of a long-term strategy, like 3 year funding and stuff like that. I'm not a finance person, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's where we'd like to get to. And also because we've been operating at a church site for 9.5 years now, our vision is to really look to get our own premises, like
Yeah,
a conservatoire.
fingers crossed. That would be awesome, wouldn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, that would be really
Yeah.
awesome. What kind of challenges and barriers have you found? Like obviously running the school, you've been doing it for 10 years now. You've grown, you need a new venue, you need more funding. Is there any other challenges and barriers like instruments, support with
Yeah.
having enough staff on site as well for your students? What other things could we do to help? And what other challenges and barriers do you face?
I think, yeah, like you said, the instruments is another thing. Thankfully, there have been a couple of companies who've connected with us and have donated some instruments. Like I've got a whole woodwind store in my house downstairs. I've got a few clarinets which I've picked up last week, and we've been really grateful for the donations and stuff. But it's now, and we've also been loaned a set of timpani
Wow, you've got
to use for as long as we need to. That's recently, and but it's just finding storage space for some of the instruments that we've received. But we are in need of I have a spreadsheet where I sort of collated information about instruments that I really need, like strings.
okay.
We need like more cellos, violins, um, and flutes, for example, and yeah, even saxophones. We have a waiting list of people wanting to learn saxophone
I love saxophone.
and violin. And yeah, and even teachers, I think, because even though we've got 14 now, we started with 10, now we've got four, no, we started with four, we've got 14, and I think we can afford to maybe expand a bit and get another up to like another five
Right. Yeah.
teachers to meet the demand because I'm getting inquiries, at least two inquiries a week
Wow. Well done. So,
since September. So I have a waiting list at the moment.
right.
So whatever people can do to help us would be really grateful. And
Well, we'll see what we can do. We can leave a description in a link in the description below, sorry, so people can connect with you, make a donation, maybe offer you some instruments as well, and obviously spread the word on that one. That's the
yeah,
least out there. And the other thing I was going to say to you as well, Fiona, is like, obviously you've been doing this for a while. Does that impact? Do you think you're having an impact now on what you're seeing with the talent coming through the pipeline? Is that making an impact?
it's making a huge impact. So I'm sort of like it's quite it's I'm kind of blown away with how especially the youth
Yeah.
and children,
Yeah.
particularly that. And I can attest to that due to a big project that we did this year. From January to May, we hosted an orchestra project for children and young people from 8 to 19 years of age from the
Yeah.
BAME community. And so it was a 17-week orchestra project. Anyone could join, doesn't matter what level they're, and we did get a number of beginners. It was sponsored by the Arts Council for 10K, and it was the biggest project we've ever done. And the end result was to have them perform a set of pieces, chosen pieces, at two venues. One of the venues was the Royal College of Music, which all the kids were really excited about it. And the footage of that concert can be seen on our YouTube channel. And the second site was our main site, and that was it was a concert and awards ceremony. And the speaker for Hackney Council attended that
Awesome.
concert. So yeah, it is making a huge impact. And even those who attend our concerts, families come and they bring their children, and their children want to be a part of that as well because they're seeing people who look like them.
Empowering them, it's inspiring them to come along and
Yeah.
that sounds beautiful. I really, really like that. It's a really good idea. I think, if there's anyone out here that's listening that would like to donate, either some instruments financially or maybe even a venue or some support for a venue, that would be absolutely fantastic. Please do contact Fiona on that one. And I'll leave all the links in the description below. What is your thoughts and feelings at the moment around equality, diversity, inclusion, especially obviously in the work that you're doing?
Um, what can I say about that? I mean, no, I mean, looking at the music industry, it would be really good to see more BAME being in been more involved in classical music because it's not a lot of that. For example, I'll give you an example of that because I was contacted by a journalist who this was before the pandemic actually. Now he saw a picture of me sitting in front of the Westminster Abbey organ.
Yeah.
Now he messaged me and he said, sorry for the blunt approach, but I had to contact you because the picture that I'm seeing on your Facebook is rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, black female organists,
Yeah. I did.
you don't see a lot of that. So he said he had to he had to like get in touch with me about that, and things like this, that are rarely seen. Um, what I would like to see is more involvement of Black and ethnic minorities,
Yeah.
and for them to be given opportunities to perform in like big venues,
100%.
Royal Albert Hall,
That'd be great.
palaces, things like that. I've got sort of big ideas of what I would like to see, and seeing how the opportunities that we're trying to give our students as well. And I think that should be really right across the board because
100%.
there are talents out there, that they want to tap into this, but they just don't have the means.
Resources are
And yeah,
such a struggle. And I think some people take it as a given, because they're more privileged and they have these opportunities that some of us just don't have. And it's trying to have that equity, isn't it? And I think that's what you're trying to build in to this is through your program is having that equity, being able
yeah,
to learn, but also having those options of if you can afford it, you can pay a little bit. And if you can't, then there's obviously scholarship to support you, which is awesome. Well done for that. And do you do fundraisers or charity events or concerts? Do you do any of those things?
yeah. Basically, we've done because November and December, like even now, we have back-to-back concerts. We've had one on the 14th. We had one the week before. We had the one before that. So every single concert we try and fundraise. We've got our last school concert of the year is coming up this Saturday. I can give you details on that. Because we have QR codes on our flyers. We have areas where people can sort of donate. So yeah, we do at least 5 concerts per year, at least 5, all fundraising. And coming up to 2025, we will be celebrating 10 years. So that will be a big milestone for us. And we intend to do a lot more concert events where if people are around, feel free to come. I'll let you know in advance what those dates are.
Yeah.
And yeah, we want to do some more for the communities as other communities as
I'm
well.
down the road. I'm in Newington Green, so I'm just around the corner. I'm not far from you, but I'm kind of on the Islip
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I'll definitely come along and support the work you're doing. Also, was going to say, Fiona, do you think cultural and age differences have an impact on what diversity we can achieve in orchestras and classical music at the moment? Do you think the older generations are a little less acceptable for the changes to happen? Do you think there's a bit more ignorance the higher up you go, in the patriarchal ladder, or even, age groups and different cultures? Do you think that has an impact on how far we can go on this and kind of the speed that we've gone at the moment?
I I think so, and especially I'm particularly mindful of the senior age
Yeah.
um, as well. That's one of the reasons why we started this senior project. We call it the win. It's called Generations United actually, and we've got a company who's kind of working with us on it, and it's also giving them that opportunity, and not to say that you're too old, because that's the kind of mindset that some of that I've met have thinking, oh, leave it for the younger generation. We're past it. We can't. And I'm like,
No one's ever,
No,
no one's ever,
no, no. Whilst your brain is still there, you can.
yeah,
So I think there is like you said, a kind of hierarchy thinking that, just kind of there's too much segregation, I think, and that's why the project's called Generations United.
Good. I'm glad to hear that as well, because I think there is that segregation happening, and it's sad to see when really we should be more inclusive and diverse across the board. And I think that's what you're aiming for, and I'm sure you will get there. But there is obviously challenges and barriers along the way, which can kind of hinder the work that you're doing. So I totally understand that. But just keep going and do the amazing work you're doing because it sounds absolutely awesome. Have you ever suffered discrimination and stigma yourself? Obviously, from being in classical and orchestra music as a Black woman? Has that happened?
I wouldn't say it's happened to me,
Yeah.
per se. I've been okay in, I mean how I start is that my mom taught me
Okay.
when yeah, when I was young. She taught me the notes of the keyboard when I was like 5 and that, but I wasn't really interested in classical music
Right.
when I was younger. So I started late, around about maybe 15. Yeah, so all my peers started younger, but I haven't myself suffered any
Good.
discrimination. I
That's what.
know other people who have, but not myself.
And what would you like to see improve in the next few years? With access, inclusion, diversity. I think there has become a big buzzword around the word inclusion and diversity, but we're not seeing enough of it coming through. And I'd like to see more of that. So, what kind of things would you like to see happen in the next few years that ensure that we can continue the great work that we're all trying to do here?
More involvement,
Yeah.
more accessibility. There are a number of disadvantaged families who like, to, see their, children, young people being um it's about instilling some positivity in their life and something like, classical music and making sure it's accessible to all. We want to make it accessible to all. And because we also want to make we're including like people who are carers, people who are, seniors and elderly, and it's something that everyone can do, but it's like giving them that chance.
Yes.
So it's not like a set group of people. And it'd be good to see a senior choir in Royal Albert Hall.
Love that.
Why
I
not?
think that's awesome. That would be
Yeah,
game itself, wouldn't it?
yeah.
We
That's one of the things I want to do next year because the children and the youth, after their experience at the Royal College of Music, when they came outside the building, they looked opposite and they were pointing. They said, "When are we going to go there, miss?"
you got that aspiration as well, which is great.
Yeah. So that's what we like. They like to see more involvement and um I mean the challenge is the finance part is that um but even like the teachers who are on our books, before we interview them, they said they'd like to come and help. But again, I say to them, well, this is how we work. We're a charity. There's a set fee that people can pay, and they can't go above that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we wouldn't be who we are.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm quite direct about that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Know where they stand as well and how it all operates. I think that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm. I want to
So
say there's a lot aimed at 16 to 24-year-olds, maybe 16 to 30-year-olds. But then we've also got this grey area of once you've hit 30, especially with funding and government funding, there's not much after that. And I think music helps with your mental health, it helps with socializing, it helps with creativity, it helps in so many different areas of people's lives as well that can give benefits to them. So it's really nice to
mhm.
hear, actually, and trying to make sure that you're catering for everybody and
Yeah.
supporting people from all parts of society, which is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, it's been quite rewarding. And looking back, as we approaching our 10th year next year, and looking back of the all the groups that we've supported. Um, I mean, you're mentioning mental health. A few of my students who were referred to us. One's been recently referred to us by one of the social services, and we had, or both children and adults mental health services have been referred to us, and we've seen the benefits
Yeah,
since they have joined. They're still students.
yeah,
Since they've joined, it has improved their mental health. They were able to come out more and socialize more with other students, but they came from a dark place.
And that often happens with musicians as well. Like some of us do go through very dark times. And I think
Yeah.
music is our saviors, it's a saving grace, you know, and it's also something that's creative and it's beautiful and it's for other people as well as ourselves. It's kind of giving back, isn't it, to society and being able to contribute to society, which can also be really, really important for someone's belonging and that sense of belonging and being able to do something. So I'm sure you've empowered so many different people along the way. Have you got any major wins and successes you want to share with us? Or any students that might have gone on to do really good things?
Yes, and this year was and it's this year actually. So basically, there's a couple of things. In July of this year, I think it's when the new government was sworn in, June or July. Um, I received um, I received a phone call out of the blue from an organization who were looking for they were looking for what should I call it? An ensemble to play at an annual summer party at House of Parliament. I was
Wow.
like, oh, okay. So I received this call, and so basically they just wanted to find out if I knew anybody and stuff because they came across our site. So, and I said, is there any particular ensemble you're looking for? And they said, preferably classical music. And if I know any musicians, I said, okay, I'll be able to help you out with that. So I incorporated two of our lead students who are like grade 7, grade 8 level, and three of the teachers. So spoke to the parents and everything. They were really, really excited because it's like
The
this
big
was unexpected and it was at short notice. So yeah, they got to go there and we went through all the security checks and everything. And yeah, we got to go there. They performed in front of the new MPs and stuff, and they were really appreciative of the music. I provided the repertoire, and it was a really good experience for the students to play there,
I can
you
imagine.
know, and all Black ethnic minority, all of them.
Well done.
And another one. I mean, the other success was the orchestra project at the Royal College of Music. So those are the two big ones so far. And there's just other little events that we've done for communities and stuff. But those are the two ones that stand out. And also yesterday, a few of the students had their exams. Um, and one of them has reached his grade 8. You know,
Wow.
yeah, he's 17 years old and he's kind of like set the benchmark for the school.
Oh,
And yeah, so I'm just waiting to hear from his results. His brother did his grade 7, both piano students. They also play other students as well. They're very multi-talented. But they were so elated to kind of reach
did this
that level.
did they actually start at the school with no grade at all, and they've worked all the way up.
Well, their parents were introduced to me like 6 years, 5 years ago. They could already play a little bit, but not. They didn't have a lot of kind of maybe formal training and stuff like that. They had teachers before, but the parents were introduced to the school because they were looking for somewhere where their sons could excel better.
Feel yeah, fit in.
And they're one of the disadvantaged families that we're supporting as well because they really had. I mean, the situation kind of got worse after the pandemic. Their situation changed and they've been really, really struggling. But that did not deter the boys.
Oh,
You
good.
know, we kept encouraging them, even encouraging the parents to say, "Don't worry, they will do well. They will do well." And now one of them
The front.
has reached grade 8.
Oh, that's awesome. I was going to say, have you got any up and coming events as well that we can share? This won't be out till the new year. So have you got anything in the new year that people could come along to, listen to your music, come support you, maybe come meet you in person? Do you have any gigs or events coming up?
Um, the one event at the moment is going to be on Sunday, yeah, April the 6th, 2025, because it's around about that we're celebrating our 10th anniversary that weekend.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so yeah, the details, I'll share the details with you. So we're hoping to have like a proms afternoon, Yeah, and I think that's part of the Easter holidays, I believe.
Lovely. So we
I'm
can
not
spread
sure.
it wide and get as many
Yeah,
people from the local communities as well to come support you and from the music industry.
yeah,
That
yes, yeah, yes, that would be good.
connect with you personally, reach out to you, connect with you. How could they do that?
Um, well, we do have social media links and also our website, which has got our details, so they can email, uh, give me, call. I mean, the emails go straight to me anyway,
Okay.
and I do respond, very as quick as I can,
Well, quick.
within 24 hours. But yes, so I can share those because
Awesome.
we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and we have a YouTube channel. So feel free to look at the performances on the YouTube channel, East London School of Music, and East London School of Music, the same name for Facebook,
I mean, I'll leave
and
all
the
of
same name.
it as well
Yes.
so people can check this out. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. It's been awesome speaking to you, finding out the great work you've been doing. Super empowered. Like it's first thing in the morning. I've just listened to all these great stories, and it's just kind of just cheered my day up just to know that there's people out there doing such a great job at diversifying the music industry, supporting others, and especially underrepresented, disadvantaged communities. Really touches my heart. Well done, Fiona, and keep up the amazing work.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. And I'll
Nice
speak.
to meet you.
Hopefully, I'll get to meet you in person soon. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we will. Okay.
Thank you.
You take care. Bye bye.